All right, guys, what is up? Real Diversity, man. We're back with another video here. No sort. We had to wait 2 weeks for this episode, so yeah, that sucked. But anyways, it's all good, man. We're back. They're back with these. We're back with the episodes, and also quite a few other things fresh start coming out real soon. So it's all good in the world of anime, man. But so far, let's talk. Let's jump in this episode, man. So a lot happened. How do we want to tackle this today? I think we'll go in order of events. I think that's the easiest way to go about it, cause not too much really drastic happening with like one specific character. So I think we're just gonna order the events today. And so first and foremost, we start off with how the way it reopened back up, right? So open back up with the guys all coming back basically from suspension, and basically kind of put us back in that square one position where we're still trying to get the team together, but now at least everyone's back, right? So now we have everyone back. Now the only last step and final thing we have to do is get the team together, and that's pretty much what they were trying to do. This episode was get the team back together. So, Yasu, Nabi, and Saike and Momo are all back. So all of those guys are back, and basically now we're back at the one of the biggest problems we've had since the fire was getting the team back together. So, um, but at least everything else is kind of filled itself back in at this point. Like I said last episode, we kind of finally got a word from every like player and just every person really associated with the team last episode, so we really kind of know where everyone stands now. More so this episode, like I was saying last episode, was that we're just gonna really figure out how the team's gonna all come back together. Now, well, all right. I'm gonna jump to I'm gonna jump out of line here, but just to stay on this train of thought, the biggest thing I was asking last episode was not why or when the team will get back together, but how is the team going to get back together? How are they going to be able to form this team now? And if I can talk, that question has been answered. So basically, they have to play a practice game and essentially win for the team to get back together. Now, I jumped a little to the end there in terms of stories in terms of the way the episode went, but I just wanted to stay on that train of thought. So yeah, they have to basically win. That's how the team is gonna get back together. So, but let me jump back on track. So yeah, everyone's back. Momo's back. And moving forward, what else happened after that? So after that, Kite, we had a moment of Kite. Kite wasn't. He's just still not really happy with everyone on the team, which is still understandable, especially because of just how much work he's put in, and he just really seems to have done the most for the team in terms of like actual in game like work, like pin up points and things like that. So it's still understandable. And then we actually got a little recap of what was happening with that college match, and I guess he may have lost or not to that college player, but that wasn't really the aspect of it. He more so wasn't really a learning process either, because it was something he already knew, but more so still a reality check was that the player he played against was like either one in a real game you're not really going to be playing one on one, but at the same time even if you want to win, you have to really improve your team, not just yourself. So that's kind of what he told Kite. And Kite, already, I guess, he didn't play before in his younger days. He's most likely didn't always been the ace of the team. So this is probably nothing new to him on, actually improving his team rather than himself. But yeah, that's just something we kind of got a little bit of a they kind of went back to that and they showed us how that really ended and whatever. No, it really, like I said, didn't matter if he won or lost that, which I guess is what they were trying to point was that it didn't matter how strong he got by himself. If the team isn't gonna do their part, then it doesn't matter. So also we had this later on. After that, I think we had a little moment between Sora and Momo, and pretty much, uh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's a special bond between those two because that obviously that's the captain, and Sora was the first one to kind of initiate the team, and they were really the first two we ever really saw met. I think within this series, or at least he was the first person who inspired to get back on basketball. So, yeah, they just kind of a special bond compared to a lot of other people. Obviously, it's a bunch of like smaller, bonds in between here and there between a lot of people and characters and stuff. But yeah, they have one themselves. So he even said, "You're the reason I even started this, and I'm gonna pretty much make it up for you." And to jump ahead again, um, Sora was talking to Neo, and Neo really said, and I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. Someone corrected me one time, and I still say it wrong. But sorry, you guys know I'm talking about Neo. That's how it's spelled anyway. But maybe not how it's pronounced. But she was basically said that Sora had a really good grasp on Momoharu's feelings and perspective and things like that. So later on, that was later in the episode. But anyways, uh, during that after their moment or whatever, Sora and Madoka came around, and we still don't really got much clue what's going on with her. It could still be the same thing as what happened with Momo basically saying he has no interest in her, but it also could still be just the fact how she felt about Sora, not Sora feeling more sorry for Momo than himself and things like that. So like her relation with those two characters is really complicated, and we still don't fully grasp that. Well, at least I don't anyway. I just know, yeah, it's just a complicated situation. But her love lies within those two. If there is any sort of love in this anime, is between those three right there. But yeah, and obviously Chiaki, he just goes after every woman he sees. But so moving on though, what was after that? So yeah, I think Sora went training, and that's when I said the nail part. But also Sora pretty much when Neo was just telling him about certain things that he can and can't do that was kind of stun his growing taller and things like that. And he was like always those calcium bars, and that was kind of funny to me how he used to calcium bars, but he's like it's really bad for his growth and height, and also that's why he shouldn't be building muscle like the other players because it would kind of slow his growth down as well. So she's trying to avoid any of that from happening. Hopefully he gets taller, which is a foresight. I kind of almost foreshadowing right there of him maybe potentially getting taller, which I did kind of also predicted last episode. I feel like there is a potential. It's another year before next intern high. Maybe he might grow an inch or two. Maybe not. It really doesn't matter now, but maybe as long as he's like by his third year, if he grows like a foot or something, then that would be pretty nice there. But other than that, I think right now it's all good. So what happened after that? So yeah, after that, Sora, I don't know, went home, whatever. But then we got to the part where the team basically was, the principal came. Okay. No, after that incident, Momo went to apologize to the advisor. Now that's what happened there. Advisor pretty much was like, I just. He would love. He probably would do it if he could, but he just really actually can't. He's just not in a position where he can be associated with anybody right now. So that's the problem with that. But at the same time, the principal actually stepped up and I saw this earlier. It was like I mentioned this last episode as well, or maybe two episodes back. It was like a small moment where he was like really paying attention. Like Nail was trying to recruit an advisor, and then principal just happened to notice how she was getting rejected, and it was like almost like just a mini foreshadow that he would kind of step in and get involved some way somehow, which he did here, and he basically broke it down this episode of like what everyone's been doing so far. So we saw that Yashu yeah, Yashu was he had like his parole officer, requested that he, that they bring the team back. Nabi and they had went to get petitions. Momo obviously, begged the advisor like multiple times, to be the advisor again for the team, and also I don't sorry I didn't do it too much, but Chiaki and and not really on Chiaki's part. Chiaki and Mokichi, more so Mokichi, they kind of rebuilt the locker room with their own hands, and also Neo has been obviously looking for an advisor this whole time. So everyone's been really pinning kind of working their own during this time. And really, Sora was gone, so it wasn't like he was much he could do once he got back. But he did come up with the idea. If he was the initial one that came up with once he got back the idea of how to get the team back together, which was they said long as they said they disband Sora pointed out the fact that they disbanded the team and not like just completely banned basketball altogether. So he realized there was a difference there and that they still have a chance at being a team. Now that was kind of the only thing he really did there, which is all right. Didn't matter too much. He really didn't cause the problem to begin with, but so in that aspect, it's all good. So moving forward though, so the thing was, like I've said earlier, like I accidentally jumped way ahead. Was to for the team to get back together, they have to kind of appeal to some advisors, which basically they have to do by winning a game in front of all of the teachers. Now, depending on who they played, that's a pretty easy task. To be honest, for this team, that would have been if they really. I think if they went back against um Shinjo's team or anybody on it, like even any of the team they already practiced against, it's a good chance that they could have beat them. Now, the one team that they did choose to go against is Yoko. Now, Yoko, um, obviously, if you watch the episode, is the team that was beating up. What was that team that they? What's the name of the other team? I can't remember the name of the other team, but Yoko's team is pretty much the most dominant team we've seen so far in this show. I think in general. So they just recently appeared after Kuzu lost their last game. They basically they're um Yoko's coach is basically the coach that was making all the comments basically at the last game, and it was kind of almost a foreshadowing that we would see quite a bit of this guy because he was just a character they just really threw in there, and it was just really interesting. So we knew something was up with him, and he turns out he was the head coach of Yoko, and he also tried to recruit Kite as well. Now, how and he mentioned earlier how he built this team went from I think nothing really to going to intern high in like less than 3 years or something like that. So yeah, it just shows that this is one of those teams that it's very on par with Kuzu's team in terms of like progress wise because they're making a lot of progress really fast. But yeah, Yoko's team is probably the best team we've seen so far, and that is the game they're gonna have to go against to impress the other staff. So, in terms of that happening, in terms of them winning, unless Yoko just decides not to play or Yoko just decides not to use his full starters or good players, then maybe it's a good chance of that happening. Maybe they just might put their bench in or something, but I don't know what's gonna happen as far as that. But yeah, we gotta wait a little more to find out the full grasp of that. So there's still a lot to be desired about knowing what's gonna happen next episode, which we don't really know. Is two things could happen. Is well, really the biggest question is, will they go against Yoko next episode? Will it be some time after what Jay discussed today? What is gonna happen next, and when is this match gonna happen? Is I guess the next biggest question. And what would be the result? Because honestly, I think if they win against Yoko right now, is there any chance of them winning? In my opinion, I highly doubt that. Honestly, and also I meant to mention this earlier, but there was a well, I come back to I come back so yeah, I highly doubt they could be Yoko right now, and it's just a real big question mark there. Okay, so backtracking here, there was a new intro. So intros, man, are basically the windows to an anime, right? You see an intro, and you should be able to tell a lot of events that will happen, or something. It gives you a clue about what there is to come, right? So, and I think was this like the third intro, maybe or fourth intro they've had. So they kind of really kind of keep up with these intros, but here what happened was that the intro was about basically Kuzu and Yoko, the those two teams. So it really already then and there foreshadowed that their match, right? So it already foreshadowed their practice match, and pretty much. And, can we backtrack about wait just like 3 seconds here? How good of a team Kuzu is, but Kuzu has never won a game. Kuzu's team has never like if you think about it, they have never won a game. What I don't think there's any anime that started off with the main team losing like the first 5 games they played. So that that's kind of like hilarious to me now. I think back on it, but anyways, Kuzu is a new intro, so it kind of basically showed Kuzu versus Yoko right there, and that is a big big like I said window into like a four like intros are just foreshadows pretty much it's gonna tell you what you need to know, and it's gonna give you like a bunch of images and things like that until it will all make sense by the end of that arc or whatever. So everything we saw in that intro would definitely come to light sooner or later, right? So anyways, though, really great so far to be back with a new episode. But other than that, we really didn't gain too much here. But like I said, we did gain enough where I'm satisfied, but we really still are lacking in terms of what really will happen next. So it's almost one of those episodes we have to wait really again for next episode. It was one of those episodes you watch it and it answers some questions, but it also left you with more questions or new questions. So it's like I'm still stuck where I was last week, but yeah. So it's just really interesting to see what's gonna happen next week with Yoko, and so yeah. So Kuzu, like I said, we gotta see what happens next. Looks like the team though is really coming close to getting back together. Just this one hump in the road here, and that hump pretty much is winning this next game. So, anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys thought. Leave a comment, like, and go ahead and subscribe. We'll be back with this next week, man.